Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Deja. If you're not new here, welcome back. We are in a new setting. I don't know which order I'm posting all these videos, but if I already posted my shelf in reorganizing my books, you would know I have a new setup. We are located in a different place in the house, hence why the lighting is weird. Hopefully the audio is not weird. I don't know guys, we're working on it, okay? I'm not sure how this is gonna work because I had to leave my room and bring all my books to the loft area, which is like my kids area. But I just took over this wall and it's a, open loft, so I don't know how the audio sounds. And then we also have no windows over here, so I'm using a light that I don't know if I like how it looks. So we're just, we're just winging it here until we figure out a good situation. So anywho, that wasn't the point of anything. Today's video is going to be the Newbie Booktuber Tag, right? Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna jump into today's video. I have some questions I posted on my Instagram for you guys to ask me questions. I have a few from there, a few that I just gathered myself. And yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start off with the first question, which is why did you start the YouTube channel? Which was a question I just got because I felt like that was a good place to start. So why did I start my YouTube channel? I've been on YouTube since 2015, and I had another channel doing, well, it's been through a lot of my life really, because again, I started in 2015 when makeup videos were like the thing to do. Then I got pregnant and started doing like vlogging my pregnancies and the journey through the traumatic things I went through my pregnancy. Then just turned into like mom vlogging stuff. And yeah, I just had to take a break from that eventually, being that I had more children. And then in the last 2 to 3 years, I started reading books again. And yeah, I feel like, all of us book girlies can relate. We always want someone to like talk books with. So I created my Facebook book group and that grew. And yeah, I don't know, I just watched a lot of booktubers and was like missing being on YouTube. Like, I always loved being on YouTube and talking to the camera. I literally been vlogging since I was a little girl. I would walk around with a camcorder all the time and literally just talk to the camera all day. So I just think I've always enjoyed that, and yeah, so I just made the booktube to then create a book community here, like I did on Facebook, and then like my Discord group, which is a smaller, tighter knit group where we just talk all day together. And yeah, I just love building that community and like safe space for us to like become friends pretty much. So I wanted to go ahead and stretch that out onto YouTube as well. Question 2 was, what book or series got you into reading? This is hard. Not hard, but I guess it depends on like which time I started reading. I used to read before I had kids as well. I'm like, can't remember a lot of them. I remember reading like Perks of Being a Wallflower, loved that book. Paper Towns, but I wasn't really consistent then. Like, I would just pick up a book. I remember, oh my gosh, what was that book called? Mrs. Fletcher or something like that. I remember that book was like, wow. It was more of like a, I don't know, I've always loved reading. It's so weird. I was a little girl reading Junie B. Jones, Judy Moody. I used to just pick up books my mom would have, and they would be spicy books, and I'm like, oh boy, but she didn't know I'll be reading them. So I always liked reading, but what's got me now as an adult consistently reading, the first book I read, I don't know if it's been 2 or 3 years, but I think almost 3 years now, but the first book I picked up, I kept seeing everywhere, was Archer's Voice. That was the first one I picked up, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. Then I got into the Addicted series, and that was like, oh, okay. I think that's when I learned what kind of books I like. Like, I like the relationship, I like the toxic stuff, I love red flags, I love spice, and yeah, that kind of like really sucked me into like finding what kind of books I liked. And yeah, and then I read Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and then that's when I was like, oh, I like dark romance. And then it was a wrap from there. Like, that was like my wormhole of reading now. So the next question somebody asked me was, who are your favorite booktubers? So I'm gonna go on YouTube because I feel like if I don't, I'm gonna forget some, and I'm like, dang, I really like them too. So of course, like the top of my head, Larry Reed's, Sarah Crowley, Raven Hair Reader, well, that's her like handle, but Rachel, let's see who else, Mel Reed's, I like Madison Kate, I like Alexa Ray, I like Just Allie. Of course, we've got like Haley and Rachel Catherine. I think those are like my top. I have a lot of other like booktubers that I do watch that are like me, like newer booktubers, but ones that are like already super popular, like those are my top. Like, I watch their videos all the time. Somebody asked me what kind of books I like reading. I feel like I just kind of touched base on that. I love dark romance, I love spicy books. I have to be, again, I'm a mood reader. That's the name of my channel. I am just mood reading here. Like, I just follow what I'm in the mood for. So sometimes I am like wanting a palette cleanser. Like, I remember I read dark romance for a year straight, and then I read Taylor Jenkins Reid One True Loves, which is totally out of my like normal reading because I don't really do clean contemporary romances. But I fell in love with that book because that's what I was in the mood for, and it just hit all the spots. Like, it was such a good story, and I just have to be in the mood for it. But normally I just like fantasy, dark romance, spicy, toxic romance, like, I don't know, like a Magnolia Parks, like a Addicted series, that it is not necessarily like dark romance, but it's definitely about a toxic relationship and character development. And lately I've been getting into thrillers. I feel like the last couple months I've been reading a new thriller book every week, and I'm enjoying that. I feel like it's harder to rate a thriller book because I grew up watching scary movies, so I have different expectations, but I enjoy the ride. So thrillers is also on there. Okay, I'm gonna go into my other Instagram messages. I had my most common one, I feel like everybody asked me, was what's your least favorite trope, or what's your least favorite trope and why. So I really don't know. I'm, again, mood reader. Like, sometimes I could not like a trope normally, but if I'm in the mood for that kind of story, I'm like okay with it. But my least favorite, I think, like off the bat I think of, is like Friends to Lovers. There's something about Friends to Lovers that just irritates my soul sometimes. Like, I don't know, it's just something, like, I can't even put it into words. Like, it's just something about when a guy and a girl are best friends growing up their whole life. It's like, obviously he loves you or she loves you. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it that it just doesn't like excite me enough to want to pick it up. Yeah, I think that's it. And sometimes enemies to lovers, depending on how it's done, because I like a good enemies to lovers, which is my next question, but I don't like when it's like enemies to lovers and they were never enemies. They just like didn't really like each other, or probably didn't even really know each other. That's really annoying, because it's like, to me it's like clickbait. Like, that's not even, they weren't even enemies. So yeah, I think that's like my two least favorite, but not necessarily enemies to lover. It just has to be done right. Oh my gosh, that's another trope I don't like. Another thing about it, I hate insta love. That is just so annoying to me, because no, that's just not real. Like, it'll be 3 pages in, it'll be 2 chapters in, and it'll be like, I fell. Like right now I'm reading Love Letter to Whiskey, and hopefully this isn't like too much of a spoiler, but I don't think it is because it's probably on the back. But she's running and then she bumps into him, and then she's like, I fell in love with him in that moment. And it's like, girl, the story is alright, I'm still reading it, but it's still just like, it's like every trope I hate. And it's so funny because I read the book because Larry Reed's read it, and she said that like it's every trope I hate, but like such a good story. And it is every, like, it's insta love, it's friends to lovers, and yeah, it's just, it's a hot mess, but I'm enjoying the ride nonetheless. Anyways, next question I got was, what's your favorite trope? And I think my favorite tropes, when done correctly, aka more like fantasy, I feel like they get it right, because there's fighting and there's action and I don't know, all the build up to it. I love enemies to lovers done correctly. Also, Grumpy Sunshine I really enjoy, mainly because it just reminds me of me and like my husband, because he's very much grumpy and I'm very much sunshine. So I think that that is always like cute and fun to read. And then again, it depends what kind of books. Like, we're talking romance books, like we love a good, what is it, best friend's brother, boyfriend's best friend, I don't know, like we're here for all the weird toxic tropes. Dad's ex-boyfriend's dad, like I'm here for all the weird, like the forbidden romance, like I'm here for it. Just depends. Again, it just has to be done right. Somebody somebody asked me, the audacity asked me, how many books do I have? Now this is a very touchy subject. So these are new shelves. Again, if you're not new here, you know, we moved to a different location, we got new shelves. If you are new here, I only had this shelf and this other shelf right here. This tall one is new and it's deeper and taller. So in every shelf there's like a second row of books behind these books. And then down here I have a stack of books that did not fit on my shelf, which I decided I'm going to unhaul. So I don't know exactly with like these that I'm unhauling, but I do know the last time I counted, I had over 456 books, I believe. Do with that what you will, because I don't know, nor do I want to know. The next question, oh my god, you guys ask me like very disrespectful questions. Somebody asked me how many books are on your physical TBR. So I feel like that's a very touchy subject. Like, we should not talk about that. So I did say I have over 400 books on my TBR. With that being said, I have not read most of them. Again, do with that what you will, because I do not want to get into it. The next question I got asked was, do you prefer your Kindle or paperback or hardback? Again, guys, I am like a true mood reader. Just depends how I'm feeling. I do love I love a physical book just because, you know, these are our trophies and I like to have them here. But as of lately, I used to read strictly like physical books only. I think last year I went like literally the whole year without touching my Kindle. But since this new year hit, I read one book in the beginning. My first book of this year was a physical book read. And literally since then, I've just been reading on my Kindle. I think I picked up maybe 2 other physical books, and that's because I wanted to annotate them. And again, it's like books I have physically, but I just want to read them on my Kindle because I do mainly read at nighttime, which is another question I got asked, is where do you read the most in your house? And I read in bed the most because I am a mom of 3. I am up moving all day. So most of the time I'm either reading at night, which is like when I get my most reading done. So I do read at night in my bed, which is why I like having my Kindle now, because I realize how much work it is to hold the book while you're trying to lay down. Or I'm like downstairs on my couch if I'm trying to get daytime reading in, but realistically, like, I don't get any reading done because my kids are around. So I just rather read at nighttime uninterruptedly and thrive my best at nighttime. Okay, so I have 2 more questions I'm going to answer because I don't want this video to be long. So someone asked me, what's your most favorite book? And then someone else asked me, what's your least favorite book? Which is really hard because I don't think I have like a least favorite of like all time. I can think of a couple that I didn't really enjoy right off the bat. Was Song of Achilles. I tried 3 different times to read that, and I tried 3 different ways to read it, and none of them hit for me. So I feel like that just was not, it was just too slow for me. And I do enjoy a slow burn to a certain extent. Like, I need some angst build up, and that was just slow. The audio, I felt like I was at a lecture hall, like getting lectured. Like, I didn't like that at all. I just read Things We Never Got Over. Did not like it. I think those are probably the only 2 books I've ever rated like a 2-star rating. That's really sad. My favorite books, that's really hard because I do hand out 4 stars pretty freely, but 5 stars is not as much. I would say I just read Magnolia Parks, 5-star, loved it. The Ravenhood series, that's like a given. Like, that's the only book that has ever made me sob cry, and no book has ever made me cry since then. And then Gothicana, 6-star read for me just because personal reasons, but love that book so much. And then I just have other stories that I just really like Punk 57 was another book I read in the very beginning of my reading journey, and I love that book till this day. Yeah, I mean, like Throne of Glass, love it. Favorite book of all time, that's really hard to pick one, but I would say that those are like my top, like, I love those books so very much. Yeah, I think that's like all I can think of for like books that I truly love, because if I love them, they will be out, like facing out, and they're not buried in the second row back here. So anything that's pretty much showing, I really loved. Again, it's hard to pick like my favorite because it's like I need a fantasy favorite, a dark romance favorite, maybe like a spicy book favorite, and then like a romance favorite. So I can't pick one. I have to at least pick 4 or 5 because we need different categories. But I would say those are, like, off the top of my head, my favorite reads I've read so far that just stand out to me. I think I'm gonna wrap up this video now because my camera is showing. I've already been recording for over 25 minutes and I wanted this to be a really short video, so I just need to shut up and end the video now. So I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know me a little bit, and I hope you guys stick around. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. I am working on like making sure I get a routine of when I will be posting. So far it seems like every Sunday I am posting a new video, so if you guys want to stick around for that, please do, and I will see you guys in my next video.